was getting my hair cut today. Like my haircut, by the way, I got a new haircut. I was getting my haircut today, and Rosanna, if you're listening, she says she always listens to the show when she's finishing up at her salon. She's a stylist, and she finishes around 8 o'clock or so. Anyway, I told her, I said, I usually tip like, I don't know, 40 or 50% normally. 40. She goes, you tip 40 to 50%? I go, yeah. I said, sometimes I tip 100%, sometimes I tip 80, but I always put out good. I always put out more than what everybody else is putting out. Now, I'm sure there's other people that tip 40 or 50%, but on average, you can see on the machine, you have a choice of, I think it's 10, 12, 15, and other or something like that. The restaurant programs it in. It used to be, I think, like 10, 15, and 20. Anyway, I always hit the other button, and I put good out. And so the more that you put out, the better you're gonna feel, and then it just comes back to you. And so that's how your income goes up. If you just focus on just being a better person, if you just put out more good, you're gonna just feel better. You're gonna do a better job at what you're doing. And through the law of compensation, you know, your income is in direct relationship to what you're putting out. So you don't have to worry about getting it back. Right? You never, if you work with me, you'll never have to worry about money again, because you understand how you actually make it. Okay. I don't ever worry about earning money anymore, because I now understand all I got to do is just keep putting out good, keep putting out good, keep putting out good. And if I keep doing that, it just comes back to me. And one of the best ways it comes back to you, one of the best ways this law pays off, is through what we call psychic income or emotional income. In the feeling that you get back, how you get paid through the effect from your cause, it makes you feel so good. And so if you feel good, then you're a better person. You're going to do better. So that is really, really important. If you just take one thing from this call tonight, just make up your mind that I am going to constantly put out good. Now, what I hear a lot of people do, they do a lot of gratituding, and gratitude is essential. All right. So gratitude is probably the first thing you need to do is, tune your mind, get your mind straight. Wallace Wattles from the book, Science of Getting Rich, the book that inspired the movie, The Secret, said the whole process of mental adjustment and attunement comes down to a single word, and that's gratitude. So first thing in the morning, if you got to adjust your mindset, just be grateful. Write out some things that you're truly grateful, that you really feel. Don't just write a bunch of words down. Like really, even if you just write one thing down, as long as you really feel it, well, that will attune your mind and get you started for the day. Then ask yourself the question, now what good can I do today? How can I do better today? And then just take one of those ideas and just act on it every single day. Just form the habit of following that law, and everything will change. Like I said, it's working now. It's working in everything, in everyone, in every situation. It's not a law that turns on and off. Like gravity isn't on and off. If you walk off the building, you always fall down. It doesn't stop. With law of cause and effect, it's always at play. And so if you want to win at the game of life, this is a way to become a winner, and a really big, big winner. You'll hit the jackpot. Number 5, force negates. Stop trying to force shit. You're trying way too hard, and it's putting stress on you. It's putting stress on your mind. It's putting stress on your emotions. It's putting stress on your physical body, and it's showing up in the form of anxiety, depression. Stop trying so hard. If you force it, the universe just pushes back. So the key is, number 1, is you got to spend more time relaxing. If you spend more time relaxing and thinking about what it is you want, you will get the answers. But very few of us do that. And you got to train yourself. It's in the beginning for some, it's kind of a difficult habit to form, but you got to train yourself to do that. And if you do it, it's not hard to train yourself. It just takes a bit of repetition. And so I figure if you're going to work so hard, why not work hard at thinking and spend more time actually doing some thinking? And lastly, there's 3 enemies you must clear out. And I always take this from this book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's the last chapter. It's called How to Outwit the 6 Ghosts of Fear. He says, take inventory of yourself as you read this closing chapter. and find out how many of the ghosts are standing in your way. And he lists the 6 basic fears. He said there's all kinds of fears, but they always boil down to these 6. There are 6 fears which with some combination of which every human suffers at one time or another. And it's the fear of poverty, the fear of criticism, the fear of ill health, the fear of loss of love, the fear of old age, and the fear of death. But the top of the list is the fear of criticism, and then the fear of poverty. And so that is a real problem. And so he says here, before you put any portion of this philosophy into successful use, so whether you're studying the philosophy that's in this book, or if you let me help you, if you're working with me and I'm taking you through the system that Bob Proctor, who mentored me, put together, and it really is a step-by-step system. He basically studied this book for 60 years. He put what he learned from this into his own system or philosophy. And so Hill says, before you put any portion of this philosophy into successful use, your mind must be prepared to receive it. The preparation's not difficult. It begins with study, analysis, and understanding of 3 enemies you must clear out. These are indecision, doubt, and fear. You've got to get rid of these 3 enemies. And one of the biggest problems that most of us face, that you are probably facing, is you procrastinate. You put shit off. Why do you put it off? Because you don't know how to do it, or you're not confident you can pull it off, or you're worried about what people are going to think. So the fear of criticism kicks in, or you're going to worry you're going to lose some money, or lose the money you got, or you won't make any money. So the fear of poverty kicks in. That's why you procrastinate. You were also taught to procrastinate. You weren't taught to make decisions. You were taught to put it off. Go, hey, why don't you go ask somebody what they think? You better come up with a plan, Doug, before you start doing that. Well, people understand. Your parents didn't understand. Your teachers didn't understand. And you probably still don't understand how impactful this is if you're not making decisions quickly. So he says the 6th sense, your intuition, which is basically how this all works, right? There's a chapter in here on the 6th sense, and he explains how your mind works and how you actually figure out how to get to where you want to go. It's not the way you were taught. It's not the way that you think it is. It's actually quite simple and elegant. He said the 6th sense will never function. Well, these 3 negatives, or any of them, remain in your mind. The members of this unholy trio are closely related. Where one is found, the other 2 are close at hand. Indecision is the seedling of fear. Remember this as you read. Indecision crystallizes into doubt. The 2 blend and become fear. The blending process is often slow, and that's one reason why these 3 enemies are so dangerous. They germinate and grow without their presence being observed by you. And so if you don't make decisions quickly on what it is you want, then when you do go, let me think about it. And that creates doubt. And the indecision and doubt blend together, and that's what creates your fear. So if you're in a state of fear or fearful to do something, it's because you're not making a decision. And the reason you're not making a decision is because you don't know how to do what you want to do, or you think you lack the ability, which is a lie. You might lack the self-confidence, you've never done it before, but you definitely don't lack the ability, the potential to do it. And that's why you put it off, and then you get stuck. So if you're afraid, that's why you're stuck. He says, do not be deceived by the habits of these subtle enemies. Sometimes they remain hidden in the subconscious mind, where they're difficult to locate and still more difficult to eliminate. He says that the philosophy in this book eliminates all of those problems. And that's what you need to do. So you've got to make your mind up that you are going to get rid of indecision and doubt and fear. How do you do that? Just start making decisions really quickly. So you can think of something right now that you should make a decision on. Every one of us, there's something we should make a decision on and act on right away. Now, just to kind of wrap up before we take questions, there's a lot of people struggling in poverty, and they're not friggin' paying attention. Now, what I mean by that is that you likely, if you're not where you want to be in any area of your life, I don't care what it is, you probably have a poverty of imagination and a weakness of attention. So what I mean by that, you probably aren't using your imagination very often, and that's why it's not very strong. But if you take some time to sit down and just imagine what you'd like to do. Imagine who you'd like to become. And imagine what your life is going to look like a year from now. Pretend you're already there. Go there in your imagination and just sit there and enjoy it. Sit by the pool, enjoy the sun, wave to the server that's bringing the white linen service over with a nice bottle of champagne, whatever. Just go there in your imagination. And you need to take the time to use your imagination. And the more you use it, the stronger you'll get. And it's like you get in tune. Your creative imagination, when you develop it through use and it becomes a stronger muscle, man, oh man, you can tap into all kinds of things. I tap into stuff all the time. I'll send somebody a message, go, I was just thinking about you. Go, how do you do that? Well, I let my mind just tune in. I relax. I use my imagination a lot. And then weakness of attention. There's so many things out there that are grabbing your attention. The phone and social media and televisions, and there's all kinds. You got to get rid of all the distractions. And if you get rid of that and you spend a little bit more time, building up your imagination muscle and then paying attention to what you're imagining, man, oh man, you'll be shocked how fast you go and how quickly you can win.